much every single change you're looking for, whether it's in your life or in your business, it all comes down to just one effective ask. So let's dive in and really unpack the secret to having real influence. What if you really could? It's a huge question because so much of our success, our happiness, it really just boils down to making quality requests. But to even get there, we first have to totally reframe what it means to sell someone on an idea.
Let's be honest. When you hear the word salesperson, what's the first image that pops into your head? For most of us, it's someone pushy, maybe a little aggressive, kind of slimy, right? But what about a true professional? Well, they're consultative, they're empathetic, they're an amazing listener. And you know what? The only thing that separates those two people is the words they choose to use.
So this is the core idea. Getting what you want, whatever that is, it all hinges on your ability to ask for it. It's about the right ask to the right person at exactly the right time. But there's one huge obstacle that holds almost all of us back.
And there it is. It's really that simple. It's the fear of hearing the word no. That one little word stops us from making the very requests that could literally change everything for us. But what if? What if we could take rejection completely out of the equation? Okay, so let's talk about the solution. It's a really simple three-part framework for communication that's not only effective, but it's also rejection-free.
We call this process the influence triangle. And the three ingredients are curiosity, empathy, and courage. Now listen, the order here is absolutely critical. You have to follow the steps in this exact order, and it all has to start with curiosity.
Before you can ever hope to persuade someone of anything, you have to understand their world first. That's the entire job of those first two ingredients, curiosity and empathy.
Here's a concept that is a total game changer: context before content. See, if you jump right in with your brilliant ideas, that's your content. Before you take the time to understand their situation, that's their context, you're not helping. You're just adding to the noise. Real influence always starts with listening. So once you have their context, then you can start to build empathy. And empathy is really simple. It's just caring about what the people you care about care about. It's not about you. It's about making them the hero of the story. Here's a little trick. Just try swapping the word I for you in your conversations and see what happens. This shift is incredible.
And that's really the whole goal of curiosity and empathy, right? The greatest leaders, the most influential people, they don't just give you advice. They ask questions that guide you to find your own solutions. And that is infinitely more powerful.
And all of that brings us to the final ingredient at the top of the triangle: courage. But look, this isn't about being fearless. Courage, in this context, is about having the skill to make your request in a way that is virtually impossible for the other person to reject.
So how do you do that? Well, the key is to use specific, pre-planned phrases. These phrases are designed to appeal directly to the subconscious brain, which, by the way, is where all the real decisions get made. Okay, let's break this first one down because it's brilliant. When you say, I'm not sure if it's for you, but two amazing things happen. First, the other person immediately thinks, hey, wait a minute, I'll be the judge of that, which puts them in control. And second, their curiosity just skyrockets. They lean in, they want to know what it is. This pulls them toward your idea instead of pushing them away. Here's another fantastic one. I mean, think about it. Who wants to see themselves as a closed-minded person? Absolutely nobody. So when you ask this question, you're framing your suggestion in a way that makes them want to consider it, simply to stay consistent with their own self-image. It's pure psychology, and it works.
So now you've got the framework, and you've got some of the magic words. But to really, truly influence someone, you also have to understand what makes them tick, what actually motivates them to act in the first place.
And it turns out it's actually pretty simple. There are only three fundamental reasons anyone does anything. We either move toward comfort, we move away from discomfort, or we do something simply because it lights us up inside. Your whole job is to figure out which one of these is the primary driver for the person you're talking to. And once you tap into those motivators, you can help them see and feel the outcome. Use a phrase like, just imagine, to appeal to their logic. It helps them paint a clear picture in their mind. Or you can use, how would you feel if, to appeal to their emotions, getting them to actually feel that future result, right here, right now. Ultimately, this all comes down to one thing: the words you choose. They are your most powerful tools. And with the right ones, you can literally change worlds, starting with your own. This is so true. The absolute worst time to figure out what to say is when you're already in the middle of saying it. That's why preparation is everything. Stop walking away from important conversations wishing you'd said something different. Instead of debriefing your regrets, start pre-briefing your conversations to make sure you get it right from the start. So let's end on this really powerful idea. In any important conversation, every single word you use is either helping your cause or hurting it. There is no neutral. Nothing is just there. The only question is, how intentionally are you going to choose your words from now on?